Hey, what is up, people? Skywalker Hendrix here, back with another video for you guys today. And today I wanted to talk about the brand new Mandalorian trailer. First and foremost, really glad Star Wars is going to be back in the theaters again. It's just been a long time, and obviously seeing these re-releases these last few years, Revenge of the Sith this year, it was Return of the Jedi and The Phantom Menace as well. Just these last few years, seeing those movies in the theater just really brought back this feeling of like, this is why Star Wars became what it became in the first place, because these are literal experiences in a movie theater. And I just, obviously a little bit of a different topic, but I think movies in general have stopped getting away or started to get away from that. Some recent movies that I think got it right were Dune 2 and the most recent Superman movie. Those felt like experiences. Also like F1, if anyone has seen that is just a great experience. But none of these, Dune is probably the closest, but it still just doesn't have that magic behind it like Star Wars. It just, the MCU used to have it, is just this feeling of like, oh, this is like why movies are great. This is why a movie theater experience is great, because you just get this ultra, I'm just sucked in, the story is happening, I'm in this world. There were multiple times watching the most recent Revenge of the Sith, you just think like, okay, this is why people would line up overnight to see one of these movies. And I always think Star Wars films should feel like that experience. You have to experience it on a big screen like that. So that is why I think mostly I am so excited for Star Wars to be back in the theaters. And even though we'll get into it a little bit, this is definitely gonna be a ramble video. I'm just gonna shoot my thoughts out there, and there's a lot of things I kind of want to say about this Mandalorian movie. Obviously the trailer came out. Let's talk about the trailer first. It looked absolutely fantastic in my opinion. Yes, it is not giving you a real story at all. You're just seeing different clips. It almost is like a sizzle reel in my opinion. Yeah, I would call this a Mandalorian sizzle reel. This is not showing you anything story-wise or, character motivations, nothing like that. So it is just kind of more getting you in that feeling. So hopefully we do get some more trailers. I really want to, see a little bit more of this. But yeah, so this thing looks absolutely amazing. We saw a lot of, familiar faces. Obviously Mando, Grogu, the Anzellans. Yeah, it looks cool. I think the scope looks to be there. I know, again, a criticism is that it is maybe not. I think since we've seen The Mandalorian on TV only, and it has a specific style to it, I think automatically seeing that on the big screen still looks like episodes of The Mandalorian. So in that sense, I don't know if it has like the biggest draw in that sense of like, oh, we're gonna see something we haven't seen. No, we've kind of seen this style of story that they're gonna tell here. So in that sense, yes, I can see criticisms. I don't know, I wasn't expecting anything different, I guess. Now maybe if the Ahsoka series went to had a movie next, I think that would be a bit different because they really were doing a lot of different stuff in the Ahsoka series. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't expect something like the Mandalorian movie to do something like the Ahsoka series, even though it is still a TV show. It looks like the Mandalorian. So yeah, but I still really liked it. I don't know why. We'll obviously get into this a little bit later, but the community just doesn't seem to be there for this one. I know there are people that are excited, like myself, but overall, I just think the community, I don't think they should have called this a teaser trailer. I think they should have called it a Mandalorian sizzle reel, or just given us a little bit more. Now, you could hope that this means if this is the teaser, maybe they're holding a lot back from this. Which I don't know, at this point, I don't know what, give us something, I feel. But that's not to negate this, teaser. This was still a good, kind of get back in the swing of things. You know what's happening. It's Mando, Grogu. They're going on adventures. That's all you really need to know, and that's all I was really expecting from this. I was not expecting anything crazy or mind-blowing here. So in that sense, I think it did its job of just kind of familiarizing ourselves with these characters again. So yeah, what I wanted to talk about next is more of that community aspect. I just think the community has gotten, I don't know, you can tell there is some brand damage from everything that has gone on, people not liking certain things. Specifically, and I don't love to talk about it at all really, but the sequel trilogy, I'm personally not a fan of the sequels. This sounds silly, but I have like a headcanon. My movies are the original 6, and then I pick and choose everything else. So like something like The Acolyte that I didn't really love, like I don't need to like consider that in what I love of Star Wars. Stuff like The Mandalorian, even the Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan Kenobi, like those things I do throw in there. Clone Wars, Rebels, animated 2003 Clone Wars is canon to me. So yeah, just I pick and choose what I like, but I know a lot of people have kind of soured on some more recent Star Wars, so I understand that, and I know season 3 wasn't like very well regarded in the community, but I still think it provided a story there. Some episodes are good. I still do believe that. So season 3, take it or leave it, but I think this feels like a return to form for the character, and really just Mando, what he means to me personally, my personal expectations for this movie. Mando really got me back into Star Wars, actually. So long story short, I used to do a lot of drugs and be a drug addict, but I ended up kind of changing my life around and shit. So I just wasn't really into Star Wars at that time, but as a kid it was, my favorite thing ever. It's like the first thing I can remember liking as a kid, and it's one of those scenarios where like I just always knew Star Wars. It's weird to say, but like I just always knew the story of Star Wars. I don't even like remember learning Darth Vader was Luke's dad. Like that's just something I just knew. Like I came out the womb knowing that. So yeah, it was my thing as a kid. Obviously when you're on drugs, all you think about is drugs. So I just was not focusing on Star Wars. Also, the sequels came out around that time, so I was not in like I went to see them just because I still loved Star Wars from when I was a kid. But I just, even then, maybe, hey, you could say maybe it was the drugs that made me not like the sequels, but wasn't really a fan. Just I tried to like talk myself into it for a while, but yeah, wasn't a fan of those. Just didn't, even getting out of the theater, I knew. But you know, at the time I was like, man, how can I not like something Star Wars? It was like a foreign concept to me, so I kind of had to learn that over time. Like, okay, not everything is going to be for me. So that I just focused to pick and choose what I like. And, you know, this trailer specifically, I am probably the most excited for the fact, like I said, Star Wars returning to theaters. My biggest hope, if any hope for this film, because I know, I just, it from my grasp of what I saw since this trailer was announced, not like a ton of hype for it. So I think they definitely need to do something like that, where somehow they just gotta build the hype for this movie. And just, I think it has a chance because it's gonna be Star Wars. Obviously they will start marketing it more, hopefully, here. So my biggest hope is that there are little kids that go to this movie and the Mandalorian and this world is their new favorite thing. I hope that this movie, may it not be fun for us, may it not be, you know, anything groundbreaking, or, because I know that's already what's going to happen. It's going to be a more simple story. Not saying a simple story can't be really good. I think it could even be really good. But people, like, some reason movies nowadays are like drugs to people. They see like Avengers Endgame, for example. They see something like that, and now the next Marvel movie that comes out, no matter what it is, if it's Shang-Chi, bro, it's got to top Endgame. I swear that's how people look at this, and this is why we've seen a decline in a lot of these fan bases. And yes, you could say a lot of them were casuals that hopped on the train while it was hot, and now they're hopping off, that it's, you know, not the craziest thing in the world anymore. Also, our world has gotten a lot more crazy. Not really, because crazy stuff, bad stuff has always happened, but you know what I mean, with the internet and everything. I mean, we become almost desensitized to like these crazy events in movies. So yeah, it's interesting to me, but I can already tell people it's Star Wars. You're gonna have those people, one side likes it, one side is like, oh no, this is, you know, for kids. Even though, hot take, it's always been for kids. But kids media or family, you know, media can still be compelling and great stories. Some of my favorite movies are stuff that are for everyone. It's not just for one age group. So at the end of the day, my hope for this movie is that a kid walks into this theater, sees the Mandalorian and Grogu, and it is their new favorite thing. They start watching everything on Disney Plus. I hope that is what happens. If you are a parent out there, take your kid to this movie, because we need to start, you know, getting the next generation in the game. Yes, people predict that the sequels will have a resurgence like the prequels did. But for me personally, I don't think, I think already, I've said this for years, that that generation of the sequel, who kids that were supposed to like the sequels, they're gonna like Mando, because Mando season 1 came out while the sequels were still coming out. So yes, it was the last one, but that's still in the same time period. So kids that watch the sequels could have watched The Mandalorian, and so I think that will have a big resurgence in like 20 years. So hopefully there's more kids now with this next movie, because it's been a while since the first season of The Mandalorian has come out. So I hope the next generation latches onto this movie and goes and checks out everything Star Wars and becomes diehard fans, because if we want things to continue and this franchise to continue, that's who we got to get on board. And you know, that's not to say we can't still have stuff like Andor. Andor was a masterpiece. Some of the best Star Wars / storytelling in general I've ever seen in my life. And we can still get that, but you know, something like Return of the Jedi or The Mandalorian, or you know, certain things like that can be just as great and fun as an Andor. They serve two different purposes. I think it's just integral to Star Wars to keep that, you know, generational thing going. So that's my thoughts. I know it was a ramble. I was kind of all over the place. But that's what I do. I just yap. I just spill my thoughts. So yeah, hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know your guys' thoughts on The Mandalorian down in the comments below. Are you excited for this? Are you excited for Star Wars to get back in the movie theaters? What are your thoughts on, you know, the state of Star Wars right now? Obviously, you know, try to keep it positive. Obviously, if you have gripes, whatever. But yeah, let's have civil conversation in the comment section. Imagine that, civil conversation. So yes, let me know your guys' thoughts. I'm so hyped for this movie. I just cannot wait. The Mandalorian, like I said, just really reinvigorated me into Star Wars, and really got me loving everything again. As I was getting sober, I kind of latched onto it again as like an outlet for me, collecting obviously, but yeah, just love The Mandalorian. Cannot wait. I think parts of this movie already look amazing and will look even better on the big screen, so that I have no doubt or worry about. Yeah, I'm just so excited, and like I said, I hope I see 20 kids going to this movie when I go see it. I'll probably go see it 3 or 4 times, but I want to see the young generation really latching onto this movie. I hope there's kids out there one day that, you know, say that was my favorite movie. That's my favorite Star Wars movie. That's just a cool thing, that we can all have different favorites and memories from our childhood that just hits. So I hope this is that for kids out there. So yeah, like I said, let me know your thoughts. As always, guys, reviews coming. I have tons. Stay tuned, some really cool reviews, so stay tuned for that. But as always, guys, may the Force be with you. Ayy.